meeting to order at 6 o'clock. All right. For item number 2, acceptance of the minutes from the June 22nd meeting.
I move we accept the minutes.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Unanimous.
Sarah, we've got Sarah on.
Oh, hi, Sarah. Always. All right. Thank you all. Okay, the third item is Almighty Waste, and Paul did up a letter. To bring people up to date, we released all but $5,000 in change for Almighty Waste. He picked up his check on the 30th, I believe. And subsequent to that, he was expecting a letter from us to let him know what needs to be done for the sewer district. And I'll pass out pass this around. The letter that went out. What we did was we had him, he wrote up the details, I kind of mashed it together, and then he refined it, saying basically that he needs to uncover the connections that were plugged with cement. There's not necessarily a statewide standard, but we don't follow state requirements because we're part of the Augusta Utility, Greater Augusta Utility District, and they have had to, we have had to abide by their rules, and their rules include a very particular capping method to limit infiltration of groundwater. They evidently had some issues from work that had been done like 20 plus years ago, concrete floods and things like that, that were letting an extensive amount of groundwater into the system. So there's, and Paul's assertion is in the request for proposal in the RFP, and what he responded to was he agreed to coordinate with the utility, the town utilities, to meet what they needed. And in that letter, it says not only did he not coordinate with the utilities, whether sewer or water, we weren't even notified by BigSafe that there was going to be groundwork happening there. So with that said, we're expecting to have the work uncovered, capped appropriately with meeting the parameters of GAUD, and we retain $5,000 to cover that, and hopefully it will. If he doesn't take care of the work by August 11th, try to give him enough time, because this is a busy season. We didn't want to put thumb screws and have him not be able to meet our needs here, but to give them 30 days from the date of the letter to get it taken care of. If we have to hire somebody, the $5,000 will be applied to that bill, and any additional costs will be billed to Almighty Waste. Is the sum of that.
So this went out yesterday.
I confirmed with Justin that it did go in the mail. So,
did it go certified or just regular?
Justin's gonna have to answer to that. So, but I think it was, he pulled together quite an understanding forethought as to why that he had to meet these requirements, and just putting some concrete in there, it just doesn't meet the standards. And if he's unwilling to do it, the town has to have it done, and somebody's going to pay for it, and we'd rather not do the town. So
he seemed quite on the defensive.
Very much so. Yeah. Well, he was on the defensive right out of the gate. I spent a lot of time with him on the phone, understanding it is hard to have 40 grand without when you really do think that everything's done. But You know, that's what retention is for, is to just make sure that the rest of the details are taken care of. And he wasn't necessarily blind to that, you know, that purpose.
I'm sure that's not the first job he's had retained.
I think he was just shocked that it happened all at once. And, you know, when you get your 100% pay, you know, and he was billing twice a month, oh, God, for money, I'd love to be able to do that. Yeah. That would be so exciting, you know, but it just doesn't happen. And so he had a pretty sweet deal going there. So at this point, you know, and kind of bringing him back into compliance, kind of catching him up, you know, put him on the defensive. But I think you know, the amount that Paul came up with was his kind of gut feeling, and hopefully it won't be much more than that, and he can get it taken care of, and we can.
Well, I remember his comment at that meeting. He said, well, I'm not going to pay somebody else to do what I've got my own equipment.
Right.
So
and that's the incentive for it.
Yeah, it's the incentive for, you know, if he can come and do it for $1,000 of his own money, then
absolutely.
And get balance of his money.
That's the worst thing the sub can do is leave, you know, a repair to another contractor.
Yeah, because
anybody
else is going to do it's going to charge full rate and then some
right.
to fix somebody else's screw up.
Absolutely.
You all been down that road.
All right, so hopefully we'll have a resolution to that, and we can get it taken care of, and we can, you know, get it paid and call it good. So that's our hope.
PVC caps must be pretty cheap when you start to think about it.
Well, for how many and, you know, and how much, it shouldn't be an awful lot. Now, if you had a lot of digging and stuff, I'm sure it would be, but I don't know how many connections are there. It's like 2 or 3 that have to be cited. And one, I think it needs to be physically capped to meet the sewer district requirement. So it's hopefully that will end that little story. So. Any questions? Okay.
Was his contract, I mean, I don't know what his contract was, but was it to demo within 4 feet?
Yes. Within?
There's no way of doing 4 feet, so 6, 8.
Oh, he was supposed to use 5.
Within 5.
5 was the magic number, but okay.
So the foundation he's left sticking out is, I'm just looking at it, it's like 10 feet long. Out past the building.
You mean the slab?
Yeah, it's sticking out of the ground on the
it's
face of the front side.
It's obviously not a clean cut down the face of the building. It's like 4 to 7 feet, but the slab extends a lot further on the right side of the building.
I just want to make sure you got what you paid for.
Right. I just want to be clear what part, because of course we had there was whole discussion about the slab.
Yeah. No, not the lower
that
slab.
one.
On the other side, yeah, that part is on the other side.
Facing the building.
If you're facing the building on the right side,
Right side.
the what's closest to the admin building.
Okay.
Yeah.
The slab comes out about 8 to 10 feet. But
Okay.
the building is cut back, but then there's like about
So we saved some money there too.
I guess. I mean, but I don't know what kind of basement was under there or what.
There was no basement at that
basement
point
like that.
under the right.
Yeah.
On the right side. No.
I mean,
That
it is that distance, but square footage is.
I'm trying to say, I don't think I took
Maybe quite small.
Okay.
It wasn't small.
But I can go look.
So if you're here,
Yeah, it's over on that side. Okay.
Yeah, the other side is obviously not the slab.
Right.
but like the
So he was supposed to do it in 5 feet. I mean, well, I know he was supposed
right,
to do that.
but a lot of areas it doesn't look fine to me. I don't know
Of the slab on that side.
or even the walls.
Well, yeah, I know it's.
But like you stop, I didn't want to take the window out, then the top would fall.
Right.
So I kind of get it.
Yeah, we knew it wasn't going to be a clean cut, but there is some.
I just wanted like so just making sure you
what we
I mean, the biggest issue is the one that we discussed before, to me anyway, is that there were parts of brick and block that looked like they could fall.
So yeah.
That's why we put the fencing.
Yeah.
So we discussed that.
Exactly, the one hanging on
there's
the
one
side,
hanging
and you're like, you bought. must be rebar.
Yes, it's still hanging.
Yeah.
Yes, currently.
Although there is wind tonight.
Maybe
Yeah.
fall
Yeah.
down, get over.
Yeah, that's
Huh?
Then there could be insurance money.
exactly.
Only there's more than that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we can kind of take a look at that foundation and see, because he feels that he did way above and beyond with the grading and all that. So,
Well, wasn't there also the discussion of on the opposite side of the building, that foundation wall and slab was originally in his contract?
Right.
He didn't give us back any money. for
No.
that.
exactly.
So,
Yeah,
That's a pretty big
that's-
chunk of money.
That's where we,
I mean, we elected
Or
to
have
keep that,
You didn't backfill it.
And you didn't have to pay that.
but he didn't give us a deduct on his price for not removing that.
Is retained just 5%?
It was 10, we reduced it down to, we've been paid everything but
So it's
$5,000.
at
No,
Is that $20,000?
no, he's been paid down to $5,000 for to withhold for the sewer. I didn't know about
Okay.
we'll just have to see what we got there.
You can call them back and tell them they want a good deal, but do some of the work, or would you have him back?
Well, I don't know. I think we, got him back on his heels and we did just bless, the parting and all of that stuff. I think he was a bit taken back, because he did, I think it was Doug or somebody said, oh yeah, I remember meeting him, meeting Paul, and Paul saying, you need to call. So from that.
Of course,
But he
then
thought Paul was a surveyor. and he
Yeah,
was a surveyor,
and-
so-
yeah. Because Paul uses his surveying business card as his contact for the sanitary district. So he was like, well, I don't need a surveyor. Even though Paul had introduced himself as being the sanitary district, but then, we looked at the card and, what happens when we assume we know what's going on, so.
Yeah, that's a.
So when you mentioned sewer, is there sewer still to the building?
I wish Paul was here because I can't answer that question. I don't know where it was severed. I don't know where all of the pipes run. I just don't.
I assume that they left sewer and water to the building, but
How did it fed when the new lines went through? Did it go to a different part of the building?
I don't know
So what we
I
have.
know originally the water all fed into the little, where the boiler was, that little underground thing. And then I think it dispersed from there to the other buildings.
Okay, so for the 1856 building, under there, and it went from there, so.
So I don't believe there's any water supply into the original building. I don't know for sure, but I don't believe there is.
Okay, so that's a question for Paul.
So this corner, I noticed from standing there, didn't quite get it in the photo, but it looks like there's a pipe underground right here, and the ground is all washed out. It's doing exactly what you guys are saying.
Right.
Then the water washes the earth down.
Right.
And gets in. So there may be a pipe. I don't know what I saw.
This is on the lower corner.
Lower corner, yeah.
In the slab, yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, no, but I saw that.
Did you see that hole?
Last time I was.
There was a clean out down in that basement, about 20 feet back from where your finger is back up that wall.
Yeah.
Toward the other direction, toward the other building. When Paul and I were poking around down there, we found a clean out in the floor.
Okay.
So I assume that's probably still there.
Okay.
And maybe that's what that is, but it just looks like it's eroding. That means that water's going
Is
somewhere.
moving.
Could be,
Yeah. Okay. All right, so what I'll do is I'll have some questions for Paul. Maybe if he can get us a detail of where the lines are. One, I know that he needs to have them located. That's part of the issue. Is that part of his attending their, their tapping and burying and tapping was to locate them on GPS so that they could be fed into the DAV system. So, but maybe he has kind of a thumbnail view and can tell us what's coming in and out of that building. So, okay. All right. All set to move on to initial budget review. Okay. Nixon O'Day, Randy has sent along a schematic budget estimate for what we're talking here. And we provided a copy for each of you. And if Randy, you want to kind of dive right in and give us an overview of what you've provided.
Sure. So we do it the old school way. I think the books we take each section of work and we go down through and we find all the scope, we write it down, and put costs in. Just like a regular spreadsheet. It's the old school spreadsheet. So, and then we would say,
I like those guys.
yeah.
Were those on
Right. So we hand estimate everything and we go right through. We have somebody else in our office do a math check to make sure that we do the math correctly. And we take these bottom numbers for each section, usually a division in the CSI code, and we plug the number into the electronic spreadsheet, which you see that's the schedule. So, so I guess we can start with that demolition or on the letter. The first paragraph there explains how we came to our scope of work. And references Paul's drawings and church architecture drawings. Below that is allowances. So these are things that we're not sure what they're going to cost. So we would put into our estimate an allowance. So that means that if we use less than that amount, then it would be refunded to the town. If we use more than that amount, then the town would be responsible to pay extra for it. So it's really the most fair way to take care of items that we can't put an exact number to. Like, well, for the first one, winter conditions. If we're going to heat the building, we know fuel prices are $4 or $5 a gallon. Heating fuels per could be $6, $7 a gallon. So I hope that's not the case, but and propane always goes up as well. So I think I put like 18,000 just in fuel to heat while we're building. So maybe that's too much, but you get the money back. Masonry repair, I just kind of took a look at the overall, and I think the masonry itself is like 40,000. Is it 40,000? Yeah. And 10,000 of that is miscellaneous as needed repairs, because there are areas that we're going to run into, especially when we tear off the two sides of the building. When we remove all that, when we demo, we're going to find things that you can't see right now because they've been patched up with sheetrock and everything. So, the foundation waterproofing, I did explain that later in the letter. And, Paul and I can talk, and I kind of was on the assumption we were going to backfill that lower side of that building where that lower foundation is.
That was the plan when you were first made, but now we can talk.
Might be changing it, so that might be irrelevant at this point. But propane tank and piping, I put $10,000 allowance for that. A lot of times you can deal with your propane supplier and they will supply the tank for free if you sign a contract with them. We still have to have money to excavate and put the pipe in underground. So that usually would fall under the owner. So, plantings, earthwork. I estimated the earthwork just by figuring out how many cubic yards. We don't really have a site drawing. I didn't want to go to site contractor with no plan yet and say, you throw a number at this and have them just like pull us a number, and then, you know. So I tried to take my time and see how I did it here. Figure out how many cubic yards it takes to fill that area in. How much would it be to excavate? I can't remember, 100. The parking lot, $40 or something. This was a couple of weeks ago, so.
Since then, we've got a layout for parking as well as the 500 that we
yeah, 100 foot by 40 foot parking area.
Yes, we cut it down. It may be the same area, but we're trying to do it along both sides of the road, just around, so we don't have to do it for long. Okay. So that just saves some improvement and have just a couple spots for accessible. Okay, but I didn't want to send you drawings while you're resting.
Yeah, changes harder. So 300 cubic yards is what I was thinking for the parking lot. Gravel, good place compacted. And so I went right through and I come up with around 70,000. I think somebody around this table must know the local earthwork guy that would be willing to work for us at a reasonable price, I'm sure. Earthwork's the most important to the local contractor. He's got a gravel pit. He or she has.
Right?
There he is, Jimmy.
Yeah. I know Jimmy pretty well.
Yeah, right. The closer the gravel is to the job site, the cheaper. That's right. So, we can work on that. So, and so I listed that as an allowance because it really would. We don't really have a site park. So we'll go from there. Mechanical demo, I figured our time for never sent out any people to do that. We really don't know the extent of it at this point. But, central main power, they always have that for you to hook up, and they won't tell you what that is until they actually do it.
They wouldn't sometimes tell you to put the man on.
And then I put 1,500 in there for rock and wood. I know the sound, we just don't know how much. And minor floor prep would be things like unloaded floors and divots and so forth. General conditions is the cost for listed there. Demolition. Let's see what the side windows, radiators, heat pipes, gypsum, partition walls, doors, roofing sheeting on the top of it, bell tower thing as well. And, we were told that that wall was a CMU wall, but I was just there. It's not that wall that sticks.
Yeah, no, that's
left.
The other side was.
Yeah,
that's what I got confused.
Yeah,
I thought that was
back,
a CMU wall.
Yeah, the side and the back was seen going out, but everything.
Oh, I see.
Was cast in place.
Okay, that was one of the Zoom calls that we were talking about. What is CMU?
Concrete masonry units, concrete block.
Cinder blocks.
Yeah.
Unfilled cinder block. I think it all went.
Really?
Yeah, it was 12-inch. I don't know if it was filled.
I don't think it was, because I don't think that anything they demoed out back of the gymnasium, any of that.
Structural, really?
It was not.
It was not. It was structural. It just they didn't fill the hole.
They didn't fill
Yeah,
the
there was no reinforcement, no rebar.
There may have been in piers in certain locations.
Oh, okay, so yeah,
But,
yeah,
like the whole wall was not.
Okay, I see.
And it wouldn't typically be, but well, it depends on the conditions, obviously.
Yeah.
But sometimes they would have filled it with insulation.
Right.
Zone light, exactly, which we don't do anymore, but that we used to. And I don't think there was any zone. But that's just the age.
Yeah. No wonder we used to do the block counters together.
So the scope of the concrete work, we figured, I think the drawings somewhere in this, we're cut the slab in the basement for 3 foot wide footing. And I think that's for the first wheel of support.
Right.
So for footing. And we figured to infill that opening in the basement wall when we talk about the back.
Right.
So that's kind of up in the.
Yeah, I think that's probably a more in-depth conversation about the pricing reality of what we're so we can understand if it's a wash or if it's more or if it's less.
Okay. We also included a propane tank slab and a generator slab. I think it fitted in what I need for each of those. Masonry, we followed Turk's drawings, and Mason's did this in 1,000, but I know there was going to be more repairs than you can see.
Yeah,
Did he
you have
look at it
carried
after
41.
I sent pictures to the gentleman that did to us. It's a thumbs up.
Yeah, he's done a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a good job.
This was 31.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I got some other things that I saw. He went strictly by what was on the text.
Yeah.
Was he in agreement that it's in good shape?
He just did great on the phone. Yeah. Good.
Can't remember, I think it's really reasonable. You know, I think that was in relatively good shape.
Yeah,
so
held up well.
really, I think what you're doing is right. It's the unknown of what we see underneath the last issues.
Right, and at this level of design, I think the contingencies in certain areas, as well as a contingency in the whole project. Something like that where it's kind of unknown, it's not going to hurt us because the next design iteration, hey, we don't need that 10,000. That's 10,000 we can put into that bathroom or light fixtures or whatever else it is.
Yeah.
And I take it these allowances are buried into the bylaw.
That's they are included. At the end, there are alternates that are not included.
Right.
I did that so you can see the value of those separate to the cost of the entire project. And we're trying to keep that price down. Let's see those. Powder-coated rails and concrete sonotubes. So that's that rail system. We really did on one side. I think I asked you a question about that.
I think we'll be able to do it as a wave.
No handrails at all.
On the looking at the building on the right side. On the left side, we keep it as is. We're building a stair of some sort. And
the grade does that.
Right. So that's a different issue. But on the other side, we're pretty sure that the grade that we have just for the gradual. So that would save that, but clearly the stair on the other side.
I think that's all we included.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it was on.
And carpentry, we put some money in there for LDS, for reinforcing the floor system that needed, if needed, and also in the bell tower underneath to in the attic space to be straightened out. Is there any other areas? So I've worked in many of these old buildings like this. So I thought it would be appropriate to put down some floor over the top of everything. We'll strip the floors down and start with right. Over 1,900 square feet. So
yeah, we're trying to keep the floor in the hall.
Keep that, it's not that area. Everything else.
Everything else, we were looking at tile, carpet, in those areas.
Yeah,
but you know, I agree with you. Well,
Well, it's like a fresh start. Takes some advantage and.
It's not that construction.
Just, so it's not squeaking.
Well, that's the beauty of it.
You'll get that in the hall.
It
speaks
I
to-
know, in the
Yeah,
library,
it's
it speaks or the stairs going up those stairs. You
The
could never
smell.
sneak
Oh,
up
oh,
the
that one.
stairs if you were late or something. But those stairs aren't.
We can keep the screen.
No, because then someone will say, wow, you know, like Aaron, you felt sweet.
Yeah, well, hopefully then.
We'll record it and we can play it.
Under that disgusting
Keep
carpet
going.
in the library.
We have, you know, like, use that. What's
Awesome,
So finished carpentry, I figured we'd put a little bit of FRP maybe in the jacket closet and have behind the sink to protect the water splashing and stuff.
Yeah.
FRP is fiberglass reinforced, it's like the 10 inches. The new wood rail, it shows, you know,
Yeah, so that's one of the things we're also looking at is it's hoping to extend the deck, but obviously that is cost, but putting full stairs across the front, so we wouldn't have any railing in front of us, so you could utilize the sides. So it would just be a hand grab, a simple hand grab. But I think the pricing that you have in the railing here as well translates to extending the deck that much, it's 3 feet, but it's still.
And also in that column, or in that item, finished carpentry, fitted clapboard, I think I fitted clapboards for the fine buildings, because they do have the vinyl siding.
Yeah.
Right now, and one that I'm sure the boards and everything probably.
Yeah. I mean, there's also a possibility that we just remove those.
The doors.
The ones on the back. And Johnson.
Not
needed. They're not visible really.
So that may be less expensive.
Like save the window, save the cost of the window, siding, and roofing.
And then we just put
All the flashing.
Yeah.
The whole lot. Simply.
Oh, yeah.
And then we could probably, and we'll have Eric and take, but we could probably do that on the wall. Just sort of thinking.
No, that's a good idea. If there were like something on the front, yeah.
So the one on the front, we talked about.
That's not symmetrical.
It's not symmetrical.
Right.
And it's not needed. And
Yeah, right.
I'm going to cover his ears when I say this. I'm just
Talk about that.
simple.
You're gonna get me on that wrecking ball, yeah.
Those last 5 feet.
Yeah.
What's the lifespan of pine platforms? I mean, is it wood that's gonna last a long time?
My house was built 1945, and there's wood platforms, and I have
Pine.
Yep. I have to paint it probably every 7-8 years. I do one side at a time.
Work your way
I
around.
think there's a mill up in Mercer County that's really now.
It also depends on the roof of the wood.
Exactly.
I think that's something that we could look at. Cost
Get
analysis.
rid of the dormers, we don't have them.
Eliminating versus keeping them.
On the back.
Oh, I agree. I mean, anytime you put it down, you've got maintenance issues.
There's only one on the
Those are north.
In the pine, I noticed that one dormer, the pine needles were back there.
Yeah.
They were built right up. So it's just a place.
A little bit of water infiltration I saw was all on that side.
all on that side.
It's all on the other side. So taking those out and then reshooting the roof and reshooting would basically just eliminate all of it.
You don't need it. No one's up there.
Right. That's all we do.
Yeah, that's what we thought.
We just say $400,000.
No. So
That's a lot of time planning.
700,000 a wall.
$100 is expensive. No, but I think the pricing is just so see what that value could.
No, I think that's.
Oh, I think
So wise.
when I used to build residential houses when I was younger, it was simply small dormer like that, just had 5,000. So what, that was 15 years ago. Right. Probably we had 10,000 a day. So.
Yeah, that's a dormer in our house. No. I can't go without that dormer.
No, that's the, I mean, in general, that's the benefit of the detail of us to move into this information. Because we're able to start to make decisions to talk about things and what's precious and what's not. It's all good. So thank you for looking at all this in advance.
No, this is how we do them. This time, we just, it's really, it's a lot of it is the help of the subs, but trying to get subs to participate. It's so much work out there. There's so much government money that's.
I can't get people to call me back.
Yeah.
What we'll do is just call them back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to, because number one, we don't have enough people. We have a situation where we have people, but they didn't show up. It's challenging, so you kind of have to have two people for the greatest position, and there aren't two people for it.
I bet.
So it's been very challenging. We're the ones who are taking on the pin where we're holding contractors up, and I can't staff a project.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think over the last year we hired 6 or 8, at least 6 or 8. That we said, okay, you got the job. Come on in, sign the paperwork, go through the safety orientation, spend a half a day with them training, and send them for a physical. And they go to the doctors and get the physical. And then they're supposed to be to work the next Monday morning. And
Show up. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what, I don't understand why they go through that. I mean, they must have found another job maybe, or got a better offer.
McDonald's is paying 16.
Walmart's paying 21.
Can you see that?
Right, sure. It's a stock show.
To retire.
It's hard too, and rates change quite rapidly. And I think the folks that are accustomed to a certain level were like now, 24, 30 hours a week is plenty. And that's been our challenge. When you can get ahead, you don't have to do stuff. Anyways, that's work.
Anyway.
It's sad. It's a sad state of things.
Yeah. So millwork, we did get a price from the millwork shop. We worked with quite a few times. And gave us a fairly specific quote, so I kind of just wrote exactly what he had done in here. And it goes through the cabinets, the wainscoting, the chair rail, baseboard. We broke it down by room for some items, the quartz countertops.
We always have a small countertop in the office. There's a 5-6 feet. But he's got it, that's good.
Yeah. And then he also worked on with that crown molding or trims on the belt. So, insulation.
Yeah, crown molding be like PVC. So remember that's container and all the handmade?
Yes, there's one company that specializes in that stuff. They make it all out of plastic, PVC.
How's that hold up?
It's very well. I mean, it doesn't rock. There's a company that does it in Fundraising. That's a this is
Fiberglass. Price.
The thing is, it's in pretty good shape. So I don't think
Yeah.
No, yeah.
a little bit of repair and paint will keep going.
So under insulation, 2 quotes. I think one for quality insulation, one for builders insulation. And their scopes, so they want to do R49 blowing. Yep. Rock soil, the exterior walls, sound mats, the interior walls, expanding foam at the doors and windows, so it's a squirt foam. And so I think we're going to do full scope on the basement ceiling. And then if you wanted, I did kind of think, well, if we're gonna put the heat equipment up in the attic or in the second floor, right, you may want to insulate that roof itself, put the rafter made.
Yeah.
And you know, it looks as though that you say that's the north side, the roof that's all
Back of the building, yeah.
on the other side. If that's the side that gets all the sun, obviously the shingle is cooked.
Oh no, that's sorry. We're around the corner. Where the dormers were.
Okay. Well, that one side of the roof is all just big. It's like the shingles, just, you know. It seems like that roof probably needs to be ventilated. So how can we ventilate that and
probably
keep that roof?
There's a actually it's part of the rafter made system. It's an E-vent that is like a plastic linear piece that will vent up through the soffit and then it goes down into it. It's a pretty cool system. Inspected on a couple of projects.
Or you can put it out, you can put the round.
You don't even have to. It actually has a little air intake in it. And then it's like an inch, so the shingles would come down and you get a slightly higher profile.
Is that on top of?
It's on top of the roof, so it's just drill holes in the sheeting so the ventilation goes through and then up the rafter to the ridge. It's all a Owens Corning system.
It's like a hidden.
Yeah, it's like a hidden vent system. It's really discreet, and then your rafters, your eaves can be closed. Yes, you don't have to do so. It's a simpler.
I think it would help that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
especially if we're going to insulate the rest of the attic. That may not do a lot for it.
Nothing up with
ridge vent. You have to put a ridge vent.
But then we could just insulate above the ceiling with blowing, and then that whole attic becomes cold space. Insulate the other wall, and then that will because we're not planning to insulate the interior of the hall, just the other spaces. So that roof would give us a really good performance.
Okay. I'm trying to move along quicker. This is probably boring. So siding, we included what we talked about on those dormers. Roofing, so we figured to do it with asphalt shingles. Did put together a price in the alternates at the end for the ceramic.
Yeah, no, it's good to get the price. Newer products. It's a slate.
Yes.
But there are some wonderful asphalt shingles too, so I'm not.
Okay. And I you know, that number, I did get a firm price from him. I did find it. I don't think it was actually sold it.
It's a down tile product.
Yep. And we did get a price for it. I think it was like $6 a square foot.
See, this is why I got it because the red bulb is free.
You know, everything is done.
I know. Well, this was a conflict. But that's why I did it as an alternate because I thought it would be a premium, but you know, what's the order now? And I know in full well there are other options out there. So.
What's the lifespan of the installation?
25 years, I'd say.
And why would you not want to go with metal roof? Is there any particular reason?
Because it costs twice as much.
Yeah, cost right now.
It's crazy.
I would.
No, that's why I didn't see.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
what about the looks like
the metal shingle.
yeah, metal shingle.
That would be kind of. Well, if you do the Zalmag zinc, I think it's $4 or $5 a square.
Yeah, I thought they were easier to install because they're not doing the same.
There's also synthetic and composite slate-like products, but I think everything is going to be in the same price range as the porcelain. The asphalt would be the better value.
He says the pricing. This is Hammond Lumber. The pricing for the opulent slate roof.
I think that's what they call it.
Okay. Is $44.45 for the 8.5 millimeter, or $4.95 for the 12.5. The new cedar is the same pricing. They said they got many colors to stock. So
I have to say that with a simpler roof, with new dormers, I'd go asphalt.
Yeah. Just get a high quality asphalt with a slate.
It's going to last 50 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't have your
If we
valleys.
vent it and we remove a lot of the valleys, then we've got a couple of valleys.
Just a simple roof.
Right.
Yeah.
Water pumping, we already talked about that, that's one of these. Fire stopping, so we included $400 for arbitrations, so maybe,
Not work, yeah, we don't anticipate any fire rated assemblies, just given that we're 1 story. But it's good to have it, that's not a lot of money, so it's good.
Right.
it's a, yeah, and really, we still have cockles.
Right, you still have
something. So, ceiling, same thing, some parking, bathrooms, doors, windows, things. And the clapboards up the dormers of the stage. Doors. So I had an awful time trying to get pricing on Marvin doors. And we tried to
we just used them on a project. And since writing this spec, they're beautiful, but
yeah,
it's kind of but
really, yeah.
There's a couple others. I mean, we were looking for basically a full length route, so we could even probably go with fiberglass for the side doors.
Well, I kind of went a little different route and we priced all hollow metal, which
yeah, that's fine.
like you find a commercial building.
The front door we're going to install.
That's right. No, that's I got
So
that.
it's the side doors, and I think
It's the new entrance doors.
Yeah.
and we want more glass on the. That's historic anyway.
So I mean, in any of these doors would probably be similar in cost to these.
Yeah, I agree, and I think your strategy is good, and we could probably find a less expensive Simpson, like less expensive 5-panel door. There were 5-panel doors in the now, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, those are pretty expensive.
Yeah, so there's a Geldwin makes a Masonry makes an indirect.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure they're durable.
Right.
So that's,
I want to tell you
that's why I love to see something like
one of those sets of doors costs.
This is 1700. Those would be a wood doors. So they would be,
Let's say we use that.
yeah, standard. So
1,300. 1,300. That's probably. I think that's pretty high.
yeah,
But no hybrid for this.
right. We don't have a lot of doors. We had 8 or 10, but something like that. But still, we could look at. I mean, I think we could look at
The bathrooms.
yeah, the bathrooms. The bathroom.
Right.
The doors. I mean, we're not talking. I mean, the budgets yet, but it's like those are kind of things that will make the feel space, like a 5-panel, a raised 5-panel door that matches what was there before. And you can go into the bathroom and make it feel
Windows, so we included modern alternate windows at all locations. The colors, yeah, they were 20% higher. And then Marvin did an alternate. Yeah, Marvin, it's a different one. They said this might be a better fit. This looking for historical.
This is a wood. We could go to fiberglass.
Infinity?
The Infinity is there. Marvin Infinity is the 5 months. Yeah, what was there is a big savings between?
Infinity was actually more. $20,600.
Wow.
Wow.
We'll have to, windows for sure, we'll need to do a little work because the lead times right now are crazy. Marvin is out 22 weeks. Pella has been like 16, 18. Anderson's been a little better, but not a good experience with Anderson. But I'm happy to look at other options and look at them as well. And what we really need is a window that's going to work. Right. And what we've been talking about since the set of drawings is where there's the 2 windows, but you would take that all out and put 1 large. I would cottage style, fix that and off of
that. What the header
it should be the header, I would assume, because that's just it.
I think we're just talking about maximizing.
Yeah,
masonry.
but the masonry opening across, I think the header is not.
So structurally,
It's not a structural moment.
Right.
Just on photo, but I mean, we should verify that. And that's what we felt. But that way, we're cutting the number of units, the bigger units, but it brings more light into the space. It'd still be a double hung window, but it's fewer units. Yeah. So that could also.
So fixed top and then two.
Yeah, I was looking at a sort of cottage style, so it's as if it was 3 units, but the upper one is 2 and the bottom ones are open. So you basically get, you feel the height of the space.
Yep.
So, but again,
Just the maintenance like on the fiberglass.
fiberglass is pretty low maintenance. They can be painted, but they come pre-finished in white because that's what it's expensive. That's the best color, or it's the easiest color.
It's a newish product, but I guess it just lasts forever.
Yeah.
So what's the like vinyl?
Vinyl is not a good product. It expands, it contracts, it fails.
Yeah, it would not, especially with the size of it.
Right.
It's either going to be a wood, clad, or aluminum, or fiberglass. Fiberglass is stronger.
Yeah.
And actually, they're the same profile. I like them for historic projects, but I don't know.
Oh, I agree.
They can do a nicer piece, but if they're more than the machine. But we could look at Pellet. Pellet has a fiberglass, and fiberglass. I think Anderson has a fiberglass as well. We should probably try them.
I installed some Pellet windows in the log cabin. They're very large ones. So I actually installed them myself. And I remember taking them out. They had really fun. Yeah, I don't know what model they were.
Wood with aluminum.
They could have been. I think they're clad. They would be clad or something.
Clad aluminum, yeah. Yeah, that's what we started with. But I think we could look at fiberglass from different manufacturers.
But the Pellet, yes, what I'm saying, when I got it out of the box, and then we'd always take measurements, make it square, every one of those things right on and then saw them. You couldn't like tweak them and go right on.
I think Pellet and Marvin both make quality products.
Yeah.
Marvin tends to do it. Marvin's line, they sort of intersect, right? But Marvin's line goes higher, Pellet's line goes lower. I don't think Marvin makes a line, Pellet still makes a line. But Pellet has a good, I think it's good quality. So I wouldn't hesitate to look at their products for this product. And what we can do is, if we're going to revise them. Okay. I mean, I would go to Pellet, contact Pellet, talk to them about their relative prices, but obviously you're going to the prices.
So gypsum, that's pretty self-explanatory. So flooring, a couple of quotes I do.
So you're assuming that we replace the floor in the hall?
No.
Well, that's what the options. Oh, okay. Right. Sorry.
No. Okay, so Royal Flooring came in with a price of $40,600 total, and I do believe that hall 101 and 102, room 102 install Arter, Habitat, Sugar, Maple.
That's an engineered vehicle floor.
Yep. So they have that included in that price. Oza, it's a little bit higher. Both very good companies.
You went to Composa and Paula? Or no?
Or Royal Flooring.
Yeah.
Composa.
Oh, yeah.
We have a guy in root for that, but he's very busy. He doesn't travel typically to this area, but I might be able to.
So Royal's coming from here.
Yeah. And so what's that from here? An hour?
Lewiston to Monmouth.
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Well, that's it.
Depends.
I drove down there, I rode 17 miles across the bridge into Auburn.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we've worked with her on
Yeah.
projects.
unless somebody's driving.
Proposals, but yeah,
Yes, right.
Yeah, we've worked. Always seems to get a lot of our projects.
Their pricing is high.
So yeah, proposal was, $7,500. And they did include the floor, but I think that we definitely consider just saying that.
I hope that we can prepare the floor. That's what I want. That's what I prefer. I wanted to have something with pricing.
And also, I don't think we need to be aggressive.
No, it doesn't have.
No.
Yeah. No, it's a vintage floor.
Right. That should be used.
It's carrots.
No, we can, like,
Yeah.
we'll take
I
it,
know,
we'll constantly. What's going on?
Well, it's just something that
Oh,
I'm telling you need to do now.
Okay.
But it's still too.
Okay.
All right.
So ceilings, I just wanted to jump to that one because we put in a number of acoustic products in the hall. And there are, so this was our sort of basic design, was looking at these baffle systems and stuff. There's a number of ways that we can do that. And whereas that product we found of the acoustic products out there is one of the more reasonably priced products. There are many options. So I think the allowance of repairing is what we need to work to that.
Well, that was just for the ceilings.
Yep.
The next sentence where it said we carry 100, just like you explained, 106 by 6 foot by 1 foot. Is it frosh?
Frosh, yeah. They're out of Texas. You know, there should be a room out over there.
Yeah.
But
They're very responsive.
They are very responsive. I've met the owner of the company.
Really?
We use them on a number of projects. We've been looking at these products, and this is a company that is like realizes that it's recycled plastic balls, and they make them into a panel, and then they use them for acoustic baffles or ceilings. There's lots of ways to use it. The one that we were putting in, we wanted to put into the archive it's a tile like this, but it's wood veneer strips on a black back. So it looks like a wood ceiling. It just lays into a black grid, and it's really upscale, but it's the price isn't.
It looks like a
Right. It's more expensive than a white tile, but we really wanted to make the archive sort of special. But obviously lots of things to do.
So I did get a hold of Frosh, and like 3 people called me back in the same company. Did it like 15 minutes, and then half an hour. They got it. I emailed them, and then I called.
Yeah, no, they're building their business and they're responsive. So I enjoy working.
And the price didn't seem like it was good out of it.
No, for the products they're selling, I think their prices are quite reasonable. So, you know, and like I said, we wanted to do something to the ceiling of the hall to make it feel special, but we also want to absorb sound because I'm sure that space was always pretty bright.
So at the stage, it was about 11,000.
Yeah, and that was a full wrap on the back.
And then for the rest of the strata wood one, 600 square feet.
Yeah, that's just
And I know I love good sound. So walk into a room that echoes.
Well, it'll make, that's why for us, it's something that's important because you want to use the space, the acoustics and the color of the light, the color of the lighting are the 2 things that will drive people crazy or irritate them. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I think there's ways to do that in the space because we talked about multi-purpose, but we want to make sure that you walk in the space that you're hearing whatever you're supposed to be hearing and not an echo of some because we want to keep the floor. We have hard walls, so we have that hard surface.
Paint. So painting was exterior, interior.
No, it's just in which
The painter does not do wood repair.
that. Well, you know what? Again, doing the railing up front, and all those pieces.
But
We do
minor,
the epoxy that we do
yeah,
epoxy.
minor repair.
Then, I did talk with the painter, and this is awesome. Who we do a ton of business with. We did talk about the epoxy, rejection, the water.
So somebody's doing it, you just, you're not quite sure.
Well, yes, but the millwork guy had it on the railings up front.
Okay, that's a separate.
Yeah.
That makes sense. The Peter would.
Let's see, specialties. So, really didn't have anything built on it. You know, we're going to need grab bars for ADA and the toilets, and toilet paper, paper towels, mirrors, and a couple trash cans. So, I got 2 grab bars, 3 paper towels, probably 2 toilet papers, 3 toilets. Towels, 3 each, because I think there's 3 sinks, and then 3 trash cans. And then in that same, because I didn't have anywhere else to put it, I put out a pull-down ladder in the attic. It just showed the attic access.
Oh, we were going to put in just a ladder bolted to the wall. That my rooms.
Well, I was looking at the pull-down work too.
It was in the janitor's hall.
I think you can get them up to 12 foot. Yeah. And big. So the bell tower, I decided to put this in an alternate because this is something that we do later. I want to try to keep the ultimate work. We have to do that in place open in the base scope and then show you the cost of the development. So I did quite a bit of research. I got a hold of Propane, who's close, somewhat close to here. Yeah. And the gentleman's awesome. And so they actually drove up here, took a look at the building, looked at what it would take to break the bell tower, and actually lifted it off the building, set it on the ground. And then we would take the bell, and take that away and recondition it. I've got a specialist to do the bell work, the weather vane, the old leaf on the weather vane, the little ball.
Who's that?
Is a gentleman. He's working in the same town as us up in Calais. He's doing a bell tower up there. And so really close. This was like 2 weeks ago when I talked to him. He's doing talked to him 2 or 3 times. And, he showed me a whole bunch of pictures of all the work he's done. Wonderful. He's be interested. Yeah, 1 second, I'll find it.
How can you take the bell tower down? Because I thought that those timber frame,
typically that's how it's done.
Straight up through.
Yeah, they extract, and it's simpler to extract and repair on the ground.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, I thought how that was constructed was that the timber frames went
to the base, and then there's a roof, and then the
but I don't think it just sits there. Doesn't it, Steve?
Structural engineers.
Yeah, I thought it was.
There's a plan
that they can take it. Okay.
With the structure.
Right. Typically they're pinned with old wood tenons.
With Morrison tenon joints.
Yeah.
Tap out the pegs.
But I've worked on 5 or 7 something where you extract them.
Okay.
There's more. This is the theory is what we're doing. There is going to be more research into the structure. That's all part of it.
Structural engineer on board.
Yeah. And we spoke about that last time we were on the site. Last month. To sort of look at that. There's some more. But taking it down, it's
definitely. Yeah, that makes sense. Exactly.
Okay, so this gentleman's name is Andrew Wilcox. He's from Mid-Main Restoration. He's got a crew of 3 or 4 guys that do one job at a time. The show me one on his website. And very well versed in all the parts, pieces, bell. And so we broke out pricing for, so to replace the copper dome with new copper. That's the piece that very top. And I can understand that would be very expensive. It's all solid. That's all the pieces and then we bend in the shape and they actually solder the seams. And that part is $30,000. If you replace the copper balls and gold leaf and weather vane, you're on $4,000. So that weather vane would all be shining gold color.
You said replace. So
the ball. The ball was gone. You can see a whole bit. Yeah. No, he's got a special guy that makes those balls for him. So he's got many of these. Got $4,000 for that. The apron roof replaced with copper at $17,000. So that's the pyramid shaped roof that's underneath the bell, where the upper tower sits on.
That's actually really important.
Yeah,
Somebody would
that's where they
do that properly.
right. That's
so, and new bell expansion for the bell sits $6,000. But the best we done. But in the photos, that looked really solid. Don't be surprised if that's actually not the open.
Oh yeah. Often I even see tropical really shipped out of Cyprus.
So the total bell restoration is that what you need?
It was about 17,000 to have a crane radio. So then come back.
so it's both.
Yeah. Two mobilizations.
What were your thoughts?
So we came in on budget.
Okay.
Wow. Right now.
The problem is there's more important things to do first, right? I don't know, window shades. I asked them for what was a draper with a clutch, plain Jane, and then got several prices. I think I went with an average. I'll just go all the windows. Sprinkler system, we've already determined right here the couple of plumbing HVAC. These cats are the most difficult to get. These guys are all so good. Masons, we're out of Lewiston, had a great conversation with these guys. They typically stay southern Maine. We don't typically go much more than Augusta, but we are here, so we've never really worked together.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of work with Mason.
You have, yeah,
they're top notch outfit.
that's great.
From the top of David.
Depends on friends.
Say
Jaggy,
back.
John or Jaggy.
Like his name and Mark call me so they give a very good proposal. I mean, it's excuse me, it looks all complete. And he did say, excuse me, he did say that the engineer had really made this as economical as it's going.
It's interesting because it seemed like that was one of the numbers that I thought was really high.
Well, I mean, you know, but typically, mechanical is twice as much as electric. So that's why I was surprised. Electric.
Well, but I mean, 155, and it's like for plumbing, we've got
3 bathrooms, 3 toilets, right?
6 toilets. Yeah. No, we've got 3
Because
toilets.
assembly is that.
No, we've got 3 toilets, 3 sinks. It could be the mechanical systems. That's probably.
Well, he's got 3 hot air furnaces.
Yeah, that's what the price
Yeah.
is. I'm thinking just,
They're condensing hot air furnaces, which is kind of neat, I guess, and they're very efficient. I was telling Don, that's one thing we talked about, is that you try to make it as economical as possible.
Right.
For a commercial space. When you start talking about roof units and major ductwork, fresh air, and all these things required by the ASHRAE. The ASHRAE has changed a lot in the last 5 years. It's like every year they keep coming out with this. Well, they're going to do better.
well, they do the same thing building. And the energy needs.
Serenity thing has changed a lot. But the thing with the condensing, very, very efficient. But the heat exchangers just don't last. I don't know what your experience are if you guys have seen that. But
Yeah, I heard.
Like 10 years, they spring a leak because you're basically putting a flame on stainless steel. And stainless steel, after a while, it loses its properties and breaks down.
It's the desiccant. Wow. That's poetry. Worked in 8 times.
So, I mean,
it was funny. Training the architect. I had a ductile. I'm used to size house. It's like this. I scared people.
So I think if you went full-blown commercial system that's going to last for 30 years, you're going to pay at least double what this system will be good for 10 years. They're going to have to replace heat exchangers, which is probably $5,000 per furnace, I'm going to guess. And I'd almost recommend that we buy heat exchangers now before they stop making them and discontinue that model. So then you're good for 20 years. You did that?
We put one in the house that we sold, and we had.
Was it a condensing boiler?
Yeah. And we had.
The newer ones, what I've been told, is that they're making it now that the heat exchanger can be changed out very easily. Which way the other ones, you just put the whole unit off the wall and you just throw it in the trash.
No, you want to
yeah.
So we just said, make sure.
See, that's smart.
So she's got 20 years and she won't mind. And she'll sell it and it'll be good.
Yep. And so Mason, Johnson and Jordan. They were a little bit higher. They were 174. That's 145. That's very low. But again, it's not for design, and so they're making some assumptions. And so then electrical, fortunately, we only got one bidder, and it's Dawn's Electric.
Right down the street.
Yeah, and very thorough proposal. We got 195,000 in the job. I can possibly do that. So, talk with some of our local guys in the Denver area. They were saying, I think I wrote that in the letter. They were saying $35, $40 a square foot. That's you would, yeah, okay. And so we looked at his. He's at 65. Just don't see it. I think he's the only one that's
a fixture that for the hall that was a pending fixture that's quasi custom. That I was told was not a very expensive fixture, but it was a little bit more certain, accurate.
Okay.
I think there's 6 of them. We could revisit those. I mean, we don't have to. I can't say anything about what used to be in the hall. There's no photographs of the interior of the hall.
Yeah, not from above.
So these were like just round globes with like a metal. So they were.
Weren't they suspended and it was like
So typically in halls there would have been
they were
a
like
suspended
right. And they were like
operable.
They weren't, it was like they were wide, they had like a wide band, but
like the schoolhouse.
right,
Yeah.
right.
But
So I went with a globe. I mean, we could change the shape of it with this company. Those maybe
driving it up the
yeah, because this is a company that also makes like fixtures for churches. So we do a lot of analysis in class work, which is better. I mean, but we can find that out. I can talk to the electric the dealer, see what that price was. At least he'll give me the cost that he sells it to the electrician for. So at least obviously the electrician is installing and do all that. But I just didn't see it more than that. Because everything else was pretty straightforward. We were just using a really economical recessed can that was like $60 a piece.
So that's why it just didn't make sense. So we searched it. Maybe actually went a little higher than we said.
But with electrical and plumbing at this stage in the game of the documents, we don't have as much information yet. So it is better to have err on the higher side.
Paving inside, just put that in the mouth.
That's good.
And then, excuse me, our exclusions are pretty standard. Basically, unforeseen conditions is mostly possible. Then each individual alternate. So this would be in addition to the days for price.
These are add-ons. That's correct. All right, so the 88 for the bell tower is not included. That's correct.
Right.
Got it. But we have, and this is not in our conditions system. Okay.
But that was actually by the engineer.
Right. So, but you've got an asphalt shingle in the project. It would be an additional 41 to go. That's correct. Okay. So it's not like we don't have a roof in it. It's just that we wanted these particular items. Okay. That's a full 41. No, these are all adds.
These are all
So we're at 1.5. So one of the things that I think there's a couple of steps here. We're still looking at what is in our proposal with that, which was taking the 1.7 and backing things out. The last thing I did to that was I took the almighty waste number and put that in. I had numbers in there for different things that I assumed would be the cost, like I think I put $100,000 in for furnishings and equipment and stuff like that. So I think we should, because I think the number we're looking at is roughly about $1 million.
What I have right now is 1.7 and taking out all my waste all the time in day, and some miscellaneous that we've done, United Rentals, accessing the roof and whatnot, and the fencing. I had 1,040,000.
Okay. So we're at about $1 million. So I think have you had the conversation that we started on site earlier? Is that one here?
No,
okay. Yeah. So maybe that's right. And maybe it's worth talking about that now since this is a this issue.
Right. Well, one of the things that we're talking about is first of all, how do we prep for winter? Because that's a concern. We have one of the concerns is what the building looks like. And of course, in that exposed area, there's other people concerned about has to be tidied up for winter enforcement. One of my concerns is, and I don't know if you all share this, but what I don't want to do is do temporary facilities that then have taken out from up. You know, how do we take care of this building so that by the time Thanksgiving rolls around, it's kind of heat and cover season? How do we make sure that what we've done is moving the project towards its finished condition and is, you know, and have the condition stays conditioned however it needs to be to survive the winter without damage. and also be available for other scopes to be able to work in there, the mechanical, the electric, whatever, plumbing in, things like that. What can we do? What is in our budget now to take care of those things, to make sure the building is all tight and ready to function over the winter?
That's exactly what I want to hear.
Yeah.
You
And
need
then,
to seal the building.
right. And because we're tight, I just want what we do. So when we're working, you know, and Randy and I talked about about using a temporary heater. Well, if we don't have to do that,
right,
we should install the heaters and use them to maintain, you know, it's that kind of process within my head.
so to that end, I think what would make sense would be probably for us to meet, obviously, to sort of itemize what we think needs to happen with this first phase and then what can wait. So, for example, ceilings, the drop ceilings and lighting fixtures and floor finishes can all wait.
Right.
So then we can at least parse out the pricing to get the exterior envelope closed and then figure out the windows. That's what we talked about today. And then the structure. And then the structure, not obviously not do a good work yet, but maybe, I don't know.
Well, I'm also wondering about anticipating mechanical systems.
Correct. So, but we can at least get the unit or I want to talk to them engineer
right.
job.
Right.
But I think we could maybe get one of the units is enough to keep the building conditioned.
Right.
For you know, so we don't have to buy all three, but that I think that would be the exercise that we should go through, sort of get you to.
I think we need to get to that point, Steve. You know,
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, gotta get the building watertight. The unfortunate thing is the bell tower is going to affect the water tightness of the building. That's where some of the
well, maybe that the bell tower takes precedent or something else, and you have to find it somewhere else. But, I mean,
I guess the bias, I would say it's a priority.
It is actually for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
Besides just the water tightness,
appearance.
Yes.
It's complicated. That's where water comes in.
But if we can take this budget and sort of split it between a first phase and a second phase, we'll call it. It's not really a phase, but then at least we can get to a point where that will inform what we need to focus on for drawings, both architecturally and mechanically.
Right.
And then at least get the building closed.
Right. That was one of the biggest things that was brought up when we were sitting down at the beach thing, was people came up and said, well, when are you going to get this closed in because of weather? You know, didn't want, we're just opening it up to birds and water.
Right. And also, the longer you wait, the bigger a problem.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I would suggest that that's the next step that we start on tomorrow, this week, whatever, in the news to sort of get that number and then sort of develop a strategy. I mean, we could start to do it tonight, but I think it's just going to take a lot of time.
No, I think just having a discussion.
And I want to engage the electrical engineering,
right.
our design engineers.
And you know what I'm hoping, and this is up to you, Steve, if you could take the lead on that.
Yeah, so
maybe these guys. I mean, I like being in the loop, but I don't want to hinder any conversation. I mean, I have an understanding, but that's certainly not like that.
Yeah, I think it would be good to have a call. I would assume you or whoever else from next day that has to do it. And then us, we could set something up that we could then talk about. Just develop a strategy.
Right.
The way I'm looking at it is I'm gonna take my estimate and disassemble the whole thing and put it back together with the needs.
Right.
The needs and the walls.
Yeah, and I think between all of us from the general project,
right,
on their side, historic budgeting, I think we can develop a strategy that's sound that will get us to this enclosed condition space. And heated it maybe at 50 degrees.
It doesn't matter.
That's enough to
right. Yeah, that's 40 plus.
Randy, did you put any numbers to do the, what we call the final demolition, the surgical demolition?
Yes.
Yes. That was in here? Okay, I wasn't sure.
There's a lot of
Okay.
well,
that would be,
that's
obviously one of the first things we could do, obviously, mobilize to do that.
Well, I think that's one of the things we discussed is obviously your order of operations. And once you mobilize, you're gonna want to go.
Right. And are you gonna do that or we contract it out to someone else?
We're gonna do some of it with our labor, and the cutting of concrete, removal of block, and like concrete pouring and laying.
As a sub-consultant.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, it's basically, it's our system. So they don't have the same power for that.
So that's good.
Yes.
So you have good working relations with them, obviously.
Oh, yeah. And he's a good guy. He's about 6 foot, I don't know, 6. He's a good guy.
He takes the block down by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him.
So that's what I would recommend is basically this next step to this sort of thing. Because I mean, I think, we're obviously over budget, but I think we can now prioritize and then we just have to see what.
Well, and that's the thing. I think if we can express to the townspeople that we have in mind how not to waste any money.
Correct. And that's why this
is
next
the intent to seal the building before winter.
I think that that's what we would like to be able to do.
That's kind of what the trustee, the select board.
Yeah, that's what they're hoping because there's the conversation about, the building freezes, it's greater issues and whatnot. So if we can get the building not only prettied up,
right,
but not in a wasteful fashion.
Right. Yeah, but we've got some exterior details. We've been working on the replacements.
Right.
And the doors we're figuring out, obviously, more conversation.
Yeah.
Those kind of things are all going. So, I mean, yeah, I think we're looking at the same documents quickly.
Yeah, and I think if we're showing that what we're doing, I know the townspeople are fully aware of it.
Well, that's the other issue here, right? It's like, we're talking a little bit, it's like lumber went up, it came down, it's up, it's up.
How do we make sure that whatever money we are putting into it is taking each step forward?
Yeah.
Exactly. We don't want to spend a lot of money building temporary walls and temporary closures, right, and that kind of stuff.
And then have them see us take it down.
Right.
It all depends on timeline and how it's going to do.
Right.
I mean, if you got to throw a couple pieces of plywood up to close the wall in,
right.
That's
That's
one thing,
but it can grow into something that's more than what we just did.
So, I mean, I think it's doable. I don't know what we're talking about. Budget that we have.
Well, I think we can probably do the demo, get that done. We could get the windows, roof, and get the one thing that Don and I talked about, there's no electricity, so I have to do that in service. So that's going to be a have to. Not a want, that's a need. Right. You gotta have power to build. Right. You gotta have power for us to use to build.
Yeah.
So, but I think between those 5 or 6 items, we can easily fit that in the $1 million budget. I'm almost thinking maybe we make a scope of work and aim for 800, see where we're at.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe, I mean, it'd be great to get the bell tower in. I know I'm being aspirational here, but getting the bell tower.
I think it should be extracted, planted on the ground, and then determine how it's restored.
At least that part, since it's a 2-phase.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have to go and come back.
I thought of that.
Yeah. But if you, and having that taken care of, then that gets us to the point where the roof is.
You've got your weather type.
And
that's really what you need. Understand everything.
That's where I was going to go. Is that everybody's booked. Every subcontractor is booked. Materials suppliers booked. So if we come up with a scope of work, we want to move into this phase of walk. We get the pricing, and nail down the scope, and make sure it's what we want, and then we pull a trailer. In fact, we buy these guys up, we write down the subcontract. Yeah, because if we call a roofer and say we want to be here tomorrow, it's not gonna.
No, it's right.
No, but we still need time to finish talking.
I did it.
We have to get a permit still. We have to go through the state fire marshal.
Maybe we do just demo.
Yeah.
Agree to mobilize those guys.
If we can mobilize the surgical demo.
Sure.
I think that would be good because that exposes a lot of the building.
You don't know what's there.
And we don't know exactly yet. And we want that to be surgical, not.
How much mobilization do you think you'd have to have? You wouldn't have to have a full-blown office trailer and everything like that. We just have a few guys come down with a man lift, and
there'd be probably one of our superintendents and the concrete pouring guys.
Remember that stuff.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, that's what. We'll know more after this next conversation.
This is just, you know, a world away from deciding you're going to do renovation on your house, because it's not a decision that you're making as a homeowner. It's this convoluted decisions that have to be made, you know,
in step and
you know, like anything, when the government gets involved, it takes it over the top. It's not a easy decision anymore. It's a decision by committee. And
but I think what we're talking about is a decision process that addresses all of the issues that we experienced and discussed. And that would discussed. Because I feel it's the right approach to get the building weathertight. I mean, really, the wild card is the bell tower, and it would be great to. I would try to get there in the first place, but that's a conversation.
So that's something that you all
we're
get
gonna
together.
We're gonna get together, and then we need to come up with a plan to report back to all of you before a decision.
Okay. So that begs the question then, you know, do we, 4 weeks is a long time when we're burning daylight.
No.
So should the committee get back together again in 2 weeks? Do you think?
Randy, do you think we could? I think in terms of developing a strategy, I mean, we're not going to have full documentation.
No.
But a strategy for what we want to do based on an estimate.
I think we can have a meeting between the four and the
yeah. And then within 2 weeks we should be fine to be able to report back. And if you don't mind, I'll just
absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah. And once we determine what date is, I'll be handy and make sure that I send, you know, right up to Lori before so that it's on the calendar.
So are you thinking the week of the 25th?
Yeah.
To try to get only night I can't do it. It's 26th. I would have to be able to zoom in.
Yeah,
that's the national night.
Okay, perfect.
So
and that's a select board meeting.
27th is the
27th is the select board meeting, so they'll be using.
Right.
So it have to be either.
Does it has to be an evening. I'm asking that. Okay, that's fine. Well, that's.
Or can anybody do earlier than 6?
I can do earlier than 6.
I could too.
I mean, it depends on what day you're talking about.
What time is the select board?
That starts at 6.
It's at 6. I'm wondering if we could meet at 5 before the select board.
Because it shouldn't be a very long meeting, right?
No, we just need to present you with a strategy.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that doable? So 5 o'clock?
I mean, if it isn't, that's fine. I'm not trying to push it.
I can do too if it works for you.
Yeah. 27th.
I'll have to bring you to
We'll plan on making it a Zoom. We can do it as a Zoom. We could all do it local or whatever.
Yeah, and I have to check to see if we can do
Legally.
Yeah. Every public meeting, I have to check.
Oh, understood. Okay, well, but either way.
Yeah.
Some people would Zoom in.
Yeah. I think some of us.
Yeah.
Have to do there.
Yeah.
And
So the 27th.
27th at 5.
5.
At 5, okay. And then, Randy, why don't we touch base tomorrow so that we can pick a time for set up our meeting? So I'll just call you.
I did, we remember.
I was there this morning.
Really?
Yes.
So yeah,
We just crossed.
I should be back in the office on that.
All right, I'll call you.
Okay. I also think that we ought to set up our next meeting because again, we've discussed the recommendations to the select board. So I just didn't want, I didn't mean to interrupt. Don't want to forget that.
So you want to do things before the?
Pretty much at least the second week. Because when is this? I have to guess the select board.
So the August 10th is the select board meeting, but if we did it on the 9th, the 9th is open, that's Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's our anniversary, and I'm thinking my husband's gonna say no.
But
I can Zoom. Yes.
He remembers?
He does, because he doesn't. Then I get another one of these.
Larry, Steve, what would you?
The second week in August, I'm going to be gone the whole week.
You're gonna be on the whole week.
Okay.
What if we look at the 3rd week in August, given that we will have a meeting in 2 weeks?
Yeah, that's fine.
And
When
I
is it
would
the select
love to
board?
get that
so
done.
that would be the 15th is open, there's nothing scheduled.
And the next select board.
So it would be the 24th.
So we could have our recommendations and get done before the end of the month. Okay,
Yeah.
that week would be fine. So any time up to the 23rd.
I'm free that.
I'm free that whole week.
Yeah.
Up to the week of the 20th, I'm not. So, but is the
Week of the
The week of the 15th.
is the 16th still doable?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Everybody
let's do
okay
that.
with the 16th?
That works for everyone. Okay.
Are we gonna do an early or 6? We're gonna go back to 6.
If 6 is what you need to do, that's fine. Daylight stuff.
Yes.
So you and Randy going to get together and pick a time when
Well, I'll talk to Randy tomorrow, and then I'm gonna send an email. I'll include you.
I'm leaving the camp in the morning.
Okay.
And I won't be back till Sunday.
So you have email or
No.
no? Okay.
That's what camp's about.
So
yeah.
Same here. Wow. I can't do that. I wish I could.
But my truck is back.
I am jealous. I am thinking, so you're gone like the 19th.
No,
Yes.
no, we'll be back. I'm leaving in the morning, I'll be back on Sunday the 17th, so I can get together.
Randy, do you know what your 19th is like?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it'd be great to do a 1 o'clock on the 19th.
Yeah.
And we can roll over here, just try to. Okay, so let's tentatively, but strong tentative, say it's going to be 1 p.m. on the 19th, and I'll just confirm it.
Yeah.
And I can send it to you. So.
That would be helpful. Yeah, that'd be good. See you. I figured out make that happen.
The Zoom link or the meeting?
Zoom.
Yeah.
Oh, I just have first.
Come over to my
click on the
house,
link.
you can
It's
see
pretty.
the cabinets and I'll have you.
That might be
There
it.
you go. And again, on that little other end, it just says download,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anyone is welcome to join that call. I'm not meaning to exclude people, but
No, that's fine.
I'm
Okay.
just,
If you want to send an email
yeah,
with a link, I will make
Okay.
sure everybody has.
I mean,
it.
we need to put our heads together and then report back to you
Yeah.
is my plan.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're not trying to make it exclusive.
No.
So join, you are welcome.
That'd be great.
Just don't do
One of the
random
biggest questions. Okay. What else we got here?
Okay, everybody good with us? We can move along? All right. Then we're we're all set. Thank you so much.
Randy's got a long drive.
Yeah.
Happy trails.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I could be in soccer by 7.
Well, the worst part is once you get on 1A, that's the worst part.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Yes, feel better.
No, thank you. Yeah, no,
Yes.
Let's see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hey guys.
All right. Thanks,
Drive
everyone.
safely.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
You too.
This way, Joe.
All right, then, I think I sent everybody, hopefully I did. I guess I sent everybody calls. We want to just review real quick this pretty colorful one that is the budget, because I just wanted to bring everybody up to date. I received the AP from the town office. And I can change this any way that you want. This is the way my brain works. I've got all my race called design external data miscellaneous. And then across the top, basically you'll be expected to pay them whoever submits an invoice once a month. So I've got November, December, June, February, current. So you can see what month's payments have been issued. So to date, we've paid Almighty Waste $442,381 with $5,000 out, and it was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 payments. Would you like a copy?
No.
Have an extra?
Oh, no. Sorry.
No.
That's fine.
There you go. Right. Meow. Okay. So do you understand what I did? Okay. And then Paul has been paid $44,367.94 so far. Monthly payments. There was nothing listed in May. And there was a confusion there. He actually did get, he was paid May in June, but we hadn't approved it. So now what we're looking at, so he's already received $11,453. This new invoice is for $61.65, and he sent along just a little explanation. I think it had to do with the sign and
that's being done.
What he's been working on, and that's what we've asked him to do, is to give us, a brief overview. And you know what? I did not print it out. But he gave the value and then more detail rather than just hours. You let us know what he's working on. And if I'm so sorry, I tried to be so prepared.
Is the one that you sent out?
Just sent out, yeah.
So design development, principal architect, architectural designer, that one.
Yeah.
Task, this invoice, site visit to job sign design, outline specifications, design development drawings, concept design on porch side entry, post excavation, and site coordination. Also structural civil engineer, preliminary parking layout for the site visit, $370. Site survey, post demolition survey, $32.85, so $3,285. So that total, or this is the one that we're approving for tonight, $95.60. Is that what you wanted?
The one that I have, okay, but that's okay. I had one originally that you sent me. You must have submitted a separate, an updated one.
61.65.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just going by what you had sent out.
Yeah. So he must have that's invoice for June. Then he sent a revised price, okay, which is fine. So it's 90 what?
$9,560 even.
Yes.
Okay, so I will update this spreadsheet, and when I do that, I'll send you each copy so you can keep track. So the bottom line, and as I say, United Rentals, we paid to have the boom lift there, and then we paid the $2,400 in fencing. So $41.44 has been spent so far on miscellaneous items. Okay, so if you go up that column, right, I have it block. This is contract paid to date, $490,893. That will be adjusted by Paul's new pricing. But overall, in the yellow, what I have done is just taken what I know, the budget for Almighty Waste, the budget for Paul Design, and the budget for Nicholson and O'Day. That leaves us $1,042. $1,042,538. That's what we have to work with. Right. from the things that I know.
Yep.
All right. So I thought that was pretty important because we're throwing around this 1.4 thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't have one.
We don't have 1.4.
Yes.
Yeah, we got about 30% or 50% more than what we have
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
in the budget.
In the budget. So I think if we, I'll track that as carefully as I can so that we are, fully aware, and I can also use it as a copy for when we're starting to do the stuff that you're gonna do. And I can drop these numbers in and just watch what's going on so that we're not, one thing I don't want to have is us be blindsided.
Yes.
I think we have to be very active.
Question about the fencing there. Did we buy it or are we renting it?
He purchased it
So
with the anticipation that it will be sold.
Okay. So that would give us how much back?
Well, you don't know if you can sell it for full price.
Okay.
It would the fencing actually was $2,400.
Okay.
Just out there to
I
wait.
did half that.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably. I would say at least that maybe.
As long as kids don't vandalize it by.
Right. I think potentially 2/3.
Okay.
So that gives us a little wiggle room. But I think if I can make sure that nothing gets paid unless it's gone through us, then we can keep a pretty tight handle on.
Yeah, obviously we're gonna have to.
Yeah, we're gonna have to squeeze every dollar.
Yeah.
We're way short.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that the town public works could help? Like, for example, disposal of the shingles, instead of paying a company to dispose of them, they
Yeah, I
put
don't
them
know.
into the,
I don't anticipate that happening. The public works is stretched thin as it is and don't have enough staff and
They can't give them a lawn and whatnot. Yeah.
we can ask.
I mean, it doesn't hurt.
if they could help get rid of bricks or something like that, or shingles, take it to the transfer station,
I think the hard part is how does it get in the trucks? I mean, if their trucks are busy doing something else.
well, if
laying
they
on the
had the
ground.
front end loader parked right there, instead of taking the shingles down.
Yeah.
Put them right into the
Yeah.
front end loader.
Yeah, it could be parked there.
Well, I don't know. I'm
We
just
can,
trying to think
maybe
of a
we
way.
could meet with, coordinate with.
Jan.
Yeah, and see if we can work that into the schedule for, controlling the costs.
Yeah.
Great suggestion, you can't hurt that.
Yeah.
Hopefully the town won't charge us to.
Right.
Well, there might be some tipping fees, I imagine, but.
Yeah.
Hey, we can go to the bakery, get them donuts.
Right, exactly.
When they help me out for South Taylor, I will take them up donuts or bagels.
So we're good with, thank you for pulling that invoice up. Thought it was so prepared, I was so happy. So if we're all good with that price, I think he has, he gave us the explanation. I think that's very helpful. And of course, Randy, when they send their stuff along, it will be in that schedule of values format, which is, and it will say what percentage is complete, so that we'll have a pretty good understanding where each of those, I call them divisions, but each one of those specific areas of concern that we're spending money on. Okay. So if that's the case, I think we have to make the decision to vote to submit it to the select board. Motion to submit suggestion of approval to pay all design.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor? All right. Sarah? She's, okay. All right. And again, Randy did not have one to submit this month. Next item on the agenda, fundraising.
I had told you last time we met, I had sent a letter to the Goldstone Family Foundation. He sent me an email and he wanted to talk to me. So he and I chatted on the phone, Steve Goldstone, for probably 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
He's really happy the town has decided to save that building. He has, knows a few other people in town. But he is going to talk to his wife and make a donation, and when we decide on a number, he's going to send me an email about what the number is. But great guy.
Nice.
Conversation with him.
Nice.
I sent a letter to Mrs. Nina. I sent an email.
She's in the area right now.
Yeah, because lo and behold, my niece or whatever you want to call her, knows her grandson and was down at our house.
Yes, yeah, well, they're across the fence from Matthew, the grandson and his wife, they're police officers.
Yes,
yeah,
and that's how Taylor,
yeah,
Taylor's
yeah.
Well, it sounds like we're gonna have to continue the fundraising with phase 2.
Well,
yeah, well,
so
see,
just have
the
to
thing
go back
is,
to the well.
Yeah.
The fundraising doesn't matter because we're still limited at 1.7.
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
We're just how much the town has
Exactly.
borrowed, which is a good thing. I mean, that's fine, because if we successfully made a significant dent,
Yes.
and we squeeze every dime for the most that we can get, the best that we can afford at the moment, maybe it won't be so bad.
Right.
To say, okay, this, we are, again, we got thrown a curveball because of the economy. Nobody saw that coming. If we had said, it's going to be a $2.5–3 million project, it wouldn't have happened anyway.
Right.
So, yeah. So then Lori and Lori did first shift at the beach party. I did second shift. She had lots of people asked questions. Nobody did want any first, but we we got $18 in donations. So.
But I am going to take the throws to the alumni day, which is August 6th.
Yeah, August 6th.
Yeah, and so hopefully, because that is kind of the audience we're aiming for, that will sell quite a few throws there. So,
and this time of year is kind of hard to celebrate.
Yeah, and then I'll be at Applefest, and then I'll start putting things up again for Christmas presents and things like that. So.
All right, that it? That's a lot. Thank you. Should I say that? Thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't do it.
Oh no, it was, you wouldn't have wanted to be there in front of the band.
Yeah, we got the band.
We know, right?
Oh yeah.
But then when they took a break, they came back. It was all of a sudden I think they turned it down. So we really need.
So we have our meetings all set, right?
Yeah, meetings all set. And any public comment, public? All set?
Yeah.
My only question is the same thing. When are you gonna
start? Yeah.
And what your meeting's on the 19th? Okay. So we'll be able to
answer that soon.
Get that information. So okay. So just cool your jets.
But it is so much harder than doing a project as a homeowner. This is just,
My daughter's building a house that 2 years ago when she got her price was going to be $245,000. Now it's $400,000.
I can't even.
Well, 2 years ago when this was voted in, it'll be 2 years in November. We could have probably done a very nice job of this for 1.7 million.
Yeah,
but this, you figure the construction costs have doubled since then. This 1.5 estimate would have been 750,000.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I think I was telling you, I looked at my numbers from May to May, last year to this year, same sales. My material last year, 15% of my sales. This year, 32%. And that's only the one thing. The fuel costs have more than doubled. Delays and delay costs have varied 3 of my projects. It's brutal.
I mean, it's terrible. Everybody you talk to is the same situation. Talked to a residential contractor today. He said everybody knows are increasing their labor rates because of fuel costs. Well, everybody drives a pickup to the job.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They don't carpool.
Oh no, and we have folks all over the place You know, there's people that come back from Scotty to Madison. And, you know, it would be nice if everybody was local and could go to the shop and buy anything, but that's not logical. So, all right, so are we all set? I will be adjourned.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you.